Okay, welcome back, students. So we're going to begin our floor plan by drawing the walls using the line command, starting at point 2500, 2500. So we're going to be using the line command, and then we'll move to the next step by using the join feature to turn them into polyline. An alternative to using the line command could have been with the polyline, but because we want to go through the steps again, how to turn lines into polyline, we're going to go with the route of line command. All right, so we will start at the lower left-hand corner, and using these external dimensions, we're going to go east, then north, east, then north, then west, then south to close the shape. All right, so let me get back to the AutoCAD screen where we can demonstrate that. All right, so we're in the wall layer, and our drawing limit is already set, as well as our precision. So we will start with the line command. Either you click on the line icon on the draw panel, which is under the home tab, or you can go with your shortcut, which is L for line. Then we're going to put in our start point, which is 2500, 2500. Enter. So at this stage, you should see your line attached to the cursor at the lower left-hand corner of the screen. And then we're going to, let me turn off the line weight for now. We don't need that, so we can turn that off. All right, so we're gonna move with our ortho on going east. So either you click on this icon to turn on your ortho, or as the screen tip there says, you can press function key F8. All right, so we're gonna go east, and the distance is 7,000. Enter. Then we're gonna go north, and the distance is 3,500. Enter. And we're gonna go east again. That distance is 8,000. Enter. North once more, and this time the distance is 6,500. Enter. Then we're going to go west. That distance is 15,000 millimeters. Enter. Now we have two approaches to close this thing. We can type C enter, which is for close, or you could just snap endpoint here. But I will go with the C for close. Now, in order for you to use C for close, you would have had to ensure that since you start the line command, there should be no break. So it could close at the point at which it started. So C for close, enter. Or you could snap your endpoint there and then press escape or enter. All right, so now that we have our perimeter walls going around, what we need to move to next is to get our lines going around on the inside. So before we can offset these lines, 150 on the inside, we need to ensure that they are polylines. So that's completing step one. So let's go back and turn these lines into polylines so that we can offset all of them all at once without having to offset them one by one and then have to use our trim or fillet command to clean up the corners. So we're going to select the entire shape by making a selection window. From left to right, you have to ensure that you go all the way around, or right to left as well. Or you could do Control A. Then your shortcut for join is letter J, enter. And let's test to see if it is really in polyline. So if we click on it, you should notice the entire object is selected. And the middle grip is no longer a square grip, which it was before, but now a flat grip. All right, so we'll be able to move to step 2 now, which is to offset. So O, which is a shortcut for offset, and our offset distance for the wall thickness is 150. Enter. So we're going to use the pick box and click on any one of those lines and then pull on the inside of the building and click. All right. So that should now give us all the internal surfaces right around the building. Now, if you notice, the corners are cleaned up nicely because it was in polyline before. Now, in order to get the partition walls, which we are going to need, we will need to explode these two lines so that we can offset them individually. So X would be the shortcut for explode. Select the two objects by making a window from right to left, a crossing window. Press enter, and as you can see now, they are no longer polylines. We are seeing 3 square grips, no flat grip in the middle there. All right, so we will now be able to create our internal walls. Since we have done steps 2 and 3, which is to offset the polyline on the inside to get the inside surface of the wall thickness. And then we use the explode, which was to bring them back into regular lines. Step 4 now will be to create those partition walls. And we need to offset these distances that we're seeing up here. So we will first offset 5,200, then 150, 2,500, then 150. And then we'll proceed to offset this 4150 and then the 150 above, okay? All right, so these are the measurements that we will be working with. Now, because in a situation like this where a measurement keeps repeating like 150, I don't have to type the 150 over and over. So what I will do is to use the 150 as the primary offset distance, and then I will override these 3 distances, and I'll be able to utilize the 150 over and over without having to type it. So that is the approach we're going to be using, okay? So let's go back to AutoCAD screen where we can now look at how that is done. So let me zoom in right here to get a close-up and to make the lines look a little broader, brighter. I'll turn on my line weight so that we'll be able to see them. All right, so my shortcut for offset would be O. And my primary distance is already 150, as you can see. So what I will do is just press enter to accept that. And then now, when I click on the inside surface and pull left, do not click. You pull left, we are going to replace the 150 with the 5,200, which is what I call the override distance. Then press enter. If you notice, the line is now offset going on that side, that distance. And because 150 is my distance already, all I need to do is just click on the line, pull left, do not type because it's already there. Just click, do not press enter. Just pull in the direction and click. Then we're gonna continue with the other room area. So we're gonna click on that line that we just offset, pull left, do not click. Now it's when we're going to be typing in our override distance, which is 2,500, the size of the bathroom room. So we're going to offset that. Then we can offset the 150 again, which is there as our primary distance. So you just pull left and click. Then the last set of walls that we need to offset for now would be the top line down. So we're going to offset that coming down, and that distance according to our drawing would have been that 4,150. You notice we offset these already, so we offset the top line. We're going to offset the top line coming down to get the outside here, and that distance is 4,150, and then we will offset the 150 above. Okay, let's go back to AutoCAD with that. All right, so when we pull below, we're going to type our override distance, which is 4,150, and then press enter. So that takes us to the outside face of the wall. We need to offset above now, which is 150 by clicking. Then we can finally press escape. So we were able to stay in our offset command and perform offset primary distances as well as override distances without going in and out of the offset command. And that's one of the powerful feature that exists in the software. Now there are other options that you could have done. You could have done O enter, and then there's an option for through. With through, you would press T enter. And if you don't want to have to put a distance in as your primary distance, then you will have to type the distance every time. So in this case here, if I was offsetting this, I would have to click, and as I pull, you would type your distance, then press enter. And then you would have to keep doing the same thing over and over. So that's a little bit less efficient, which is why I went the route of putting in my primary distance as 150, and then I perform overrides as I go along. All right, so we will pick up in the next segment by looking at how you fillet the corners here to clean up, and then we would use the trim to clean up here, after which we'll clean up the intersections. So that concludes this segment. I hope we learned something from this exercise, and we will continue in our next segment.